because I work at the comedy club, I have this stamp that I use it to stamp the date everywhere because I'm lazy, and also stamps rock. But I went up to this comedian and I was like, "Want a date?" And his face just fell. And then I just stamped his hand with the date.
And he's like, and you're like, I guess I know where I stand with this guy. Okay. Loud and clear, message received, sir. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is season 6 of Willfully Funny. This week, my guest is Montreal-based comedian Flo Penicaud. Flo and I met about a year and a half ago in Montreal at the Comedy Nest, and I'm glad to have her as a guest this week. So welcome, Flo.
Thanks
Welcome.
for having me, Sloan. And we get bonus cat content today.
Yay, cat content. I'm here for the cat content.
Same,
Awesome, awesome.
same.
So before we get into it, can you share your social media information, like where people can find you?
Yes, you can find me in person, which is mostly where I like to be. But I do have a page on Facebook. It's at the Funny Flow Show. So no W to Flow, just FLO, and yeah, you can find my page there. So
Okay.
try and post as much as I can, but social media is kind of my nemesis at this
Yeah.
point.
Social media is a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll include that in the show notes. So thank you for being here. I haven't seen you in a while because I haven't been. I think the last time I saw you was probably March, because that was the last time I was at Comedy Nest.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense because
Yeah.
you've been running around being your fabulous self, and I've been doing the same on my end. So
Oh, and I no, I yeah, March was the last time I saw you in Montreal, but you were in Ottawa. I saw you
yes, I
when you
did go in
came.
April for like
Yes.
one spot, one
Yeah.
night,
Yeah,
exclusive.
at New Talent Showcase at Yuck Yucks. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you killed it. You
yes, I
smashed it. You did really well.
and thank God you were there because you got a clip of me, and I have been using that like my favorite T-shirt. Like, very
Yeah, I'm
nice
known
to
as
have.
like everyone knows me for like recording my sets, and
Yeah.
I don't know, did I record on my camera or did I use my phone? Do you remember? Because I
Well,
don't
you
think
had
I
your
was on the show.
no,
Was
you
I?
had your camera out because you were recording for the headliner, and somehow you had it set up, and it recorded my whole set. And yeah, you were so like you're so nice. You just sent it to me, edited and everything. I was just like, "What is this? This is great!"
Yeah, because I was trying to remember, because usually if I'm just going to a show, I wouldn't have my camera. But why was I? Oh, I know, my friend Jeff was headlining,
Yeah,
and I had asked him if he wanted me to record, and he said yes. So
yeah.
yes, that's why I had my camera there, because I was recording for him. Because I was like, who else would I have recorded? Like, what I would is usually I don't have, if unless I'm performing, I don't have my camera.
Yeah.
That Yeah, my friend Jeff was
No,
headlining that night.
that was a
Yeah.
great surprise because I got off of stage, and I always record my audio, and I got off stage and I was like, "That was amazing." Darn
Hmm.
it, like I wish I had it. And then you came up to me, I was like, I have it, I got it recorded. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. It's
Oh
like when you
yeah.
talk to a hot guy and he's like, so where's your boyfriend? And I'm like, I don't have one. like, like,
He doesn't exist. And the thing, because like I have virtually every set I've ever done,
oh
I
wow.
have recorded. Like, even during like the Zoom years, I
Yeah.
have those except for one, and it still upsets me. Um, because I remember for the show, I asked the producer, I said, can I have permission to record myself?
Yeah.
Because there's controls that, you can allow the audience to record. And he was like, no, it's okay, I'm going to record the whole show, I'll give you a clip
Oh.
after. And I was like, okay. I was at Bullet, And after I finished, she's like, "Oh shit, I forgot to hit record." I forgot to hit record.
Oh my
Sorry,
gosh.
Simone. And I was like, it's it's okay. It's okay. So that's the
Oh my
only
gosh.
one that I don't have recorded. And
Oh,
yeah.
like
So
I won't be all sad and be like, don't rely on other people, but like there's a part of me that's always like redundancy is key, you know?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
And the
yeah.
thing is, it's his Zoom. I couldn't say, well, let me record anyway. Like, you know what I mean? I couldn't,
Yeah.
he was it was his Zoom and everything. And so I was just like, okay, even though I wanted to say, well, can you let me do it myself anyway? Even though you're recording, can I? But I didn't. And
Oh
he's
yeah.
like, I
No.
forgot. So everybody else in the show was recorded except for me.
Oh.
I was pissed. I was pissed.
No, I know the feeling. I
Yeah,
know the
I was not
feeling. Yeah.
happy. I was not happy. But yeah, I record all of it. Just because
Yeah.
you never know what could happen. Like there's something like magical could happen, or
I
you
know.
word a bit differently and it works really well, and you've got it captured, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I at least have the audio for everything. I mean, this is the thing, like the era we're in for comedy is just so much effort beyond the comedy. And it's not just traveling, it's a lot of becoming like a videographer and
Yes.
an editor. And like, I have to be perfectly honest, those are not things that interest me. You know,
Same, same,
like, so
same.
yeah,
But for visibility, like you have to be visible. People want to see that, that
yeah,
I don't know if it's about the number of followers or whatever, but they want to see
yeah,
you doing stuff. It's about visibility,
yeah.
sort of thing. And it's like, it's exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
It's
And it's like,
exhausting.
it's not because I don't want people to see stuff, it's just everything that goes around with it. And like, I'm not the kind of person who whips my camera out all the time. Like, like, people, like, sometimes will be like, oh, I need a recent picture of you. And then I'll be like scrolling back a few months because I don't take selfies. I'm not into that. Like,
Hmm.
it's not, I don't have anything against it. I don't think that way. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just not into that. Like, it's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, I'm not, even though I record all my sets and stuff, that's the only thing that I'm really vigilant about, that I make
Yeah.
sure I have my camera or my phone or something. But in terms of like, no.
I mean, I have some friends who are like that, and I love them because then I'll
Hmm.
leave stuff and they'll have memories, you know? But while I'm doing things, I'm not thinking about it. In comedy, like, I'm just trying to get in the zone, and
Yeah.
I won't be thinking about recording myself, uh, except the audio, because that's become like, but
Yeah.
like, with the video, um, you have to find a place for your tripod, and you have to make sure no one disturbs it. And
That's why I get to venues so early, so I can camp out a place and place it, and then I don't have, that's why I end up recording the whole thing, because it's like I don't want to be like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. you know Set it
yeah,
up, let it run, and I don't have to worry about disturbing anybody, and I know I
yeah,
have it. Yeah.
yeah. And so, like, yeah, I just think it's such an effort. Um, and it's like, where are you putting the camera? Are you actually, like, is someone with a hat gonna come sit in front of, like, I just find there's so much. And like, I'll hear, like, I heard an American comedian say like that the venues will record in the States, but then they'll make you pay like $50 to release your clip to
That's
you.
what I've
Like, it's
heard. Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, like, are you the Warner Brothers? Like, what are you gonna do to it? Like, it's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, if the club's recorded, that's cool. Do they have to give them away for free? Not necessarily, but it doesn't have to be like $50.
I mean, like,
Because I'm sure there's no editing. I'm sure it's just like, that's your clip. End of
yeah, but that's the
story,
thing. It shouldn't be more than a beer, you know? Like,
Hmm.
no comedian,
Yeah, $10 or something. Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know lots of people tell me I should charge, but I'm like, I feel weird about it. Like if I'm recording already, I mean,
I mean, if someone was rude to you, I would make them pay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I'll be
Or I
like,
wouldn't even
"Oh,
offer sort of thing. Yeah. Because
I'm
the thing
so
is, I let
sorry."
people know that I'm recording,
Yeah.
just like I have my camera set up just because it's easier to, and if somebody wants it, like I'll give it to, because I don't do anything with it. I'm really only concerned with my clip. I just want my clip. I don't give a fuck or anything. Like I'm gonna delete it after. I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I just want my clip,
Yeah.
and if somebody wants their clip, fine, I'll give it to you. And I delete it after. It's like
Yeah.
I have no use for it, you
Wait, are
know?
you saying you don't have thousands of hours of other comedians' material in your laptop?
No, like that would be like just weird and creepy, but no, it's like I delete it,
It's like
and if I
I have.
know, and like, if somebody was like, oh, can I have a copy of that? Sure. So I'll know when when I get home and I'm editing it, I'll keep their copy and I'll,
Yeah, yeah, no,
send it off to them. But if nobody says anything to me, I'm just like, do, 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 do. Here's my stuff. Delete everything else.
yeah.
So that's just what I do,
But yeah,
and
no, that's
it's,
so much like data. Like, I mean, the
yeah,
video.
just the space of saving all those videos, all
Yeah,
that video footage, so it's like I
it's a
don't,
lot.
yeah, I don't do anything with it. I delete it. Like it's just my own stuff that I keep. But yeah, like I always sing the, like I think it's important just to record your sets, pure, whether it's audio only or video.
Yeah,
It I think it's important, and to get into the habit
yeah,
of doing that. Like I know from, because like with myself with video, like if I have to, there's also the thing of like having too much choice, because now like if I have to get a clip for to send for a festival or something, it's like, which of these 300 clips should I choose? Like, what 5 minutes should I choose, sort of
yeah. No,
thing?
thankfully, well, thankfully and unfortunately, I don't have thousands of choices because like sometimes you'll have a really good set, but the audience isn't big enough.
Hmm.
Like you won't hear everything come through. Like, but
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because you want the good set, and you want enough laughter,
yeah,
enough people in the audience, so that when they laugh, it's meaningful. Yeah.
yeah,
But even like, yeah, even with even though I have like literally maybe 300 plus clips, because I have every single set. If I have to send a clip, it's usually recent. I'm not going to go like, oh, this clip
yeah,
in 2000 was awesome. I'm going to send that. No, it's going to be, because hopefully I've improved since 2020. You know
yeah.
what
No,
I
same,
mean?
same,
You
same.
know, I,
I every day I pray that I get better at
and you're
comedy.
getting better. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're going to, I'll look back to, like, say if I had to send something now, I'll look back at, say, maybe over the last couple of months, like what was a really good set,
yeah,
what, like I have a visual catalog of, okay, what
yeah,
was this? I remember this set, on this date was pretty good. What did I do in
yeah.
there? Sort of
But
thing.
also, I think that what you're doing also takes like the urgency out of filming a set because like when you're trying to submit and you don't have anything, then you get up in your head about recording yourself and all of a sudden everything is like do or die and you're not doing your best because you're just
Yeah.
thinking like
You're preoccupied.
I have to be good right now. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Is the only issue that I really have now is like there's some festivals or some shows want you to send like a corporate clean
yeah.
set. I don't, not that I'm like excessively dirty or I swear a lot, but my stuff's not clean. You know what
Well,
I mean?
that's what I've noticed too because like it's not like I'm swearing, but I am talking about, you know, dildos and whatnot, just
Hmm.
it's just part of yeah, what came
Yeah.
up in writing, right? So it's not a yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. And I'm, there's also that like what's the definition of clean? Because
Yeah.
does clean mean no does clean mean no swearing?
Yeah, because I don't swear
I
in
don't,
my
I
comedy,
rarely
or
swear.
rarely.
I rarely swear. Or is clean like no references to sex or anything? Because if it's no references to sex, then it's not clean. But does it mean, like, do you have to use like cutesy euphemisms for, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it's
like
like some of my jokes, it's like, yeah, if I use a cutesy like the it's like the wind has been taken out of the sails of the joke. Like, it's
yeah, well,
not.
that's the thing. Yeah, you know as
Yeah.
much as me, is like writing is entirely based on your word choice, and
Mm-hmm.
precise placement gives you results, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't just work because you're like, this is gonna be fine, and then you're on stage, you're like, oh, like, yeah, the power of words and jokes is very,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
like,
Like I can do my set without swearing. Like that's not the issue, but there's something about impactful F-bomb that just makes
yeah,
something work so much better. You know what I
that's,
mean?
yeah,
Like a
it's like
well-placed
salting,
fuck sort of thing just works. You know what I mean?
yeah. But it's like salting a dish, Like I've seen comedians use swearing as a crutch, you know?
Yes.
They'll be saying it every other word, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What's your joke? Where are
Uh-huh.
you going with this?" And they'll be like, "Oh, this effing guy in this effing place," and I'm just like,
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's just it's not necessary. Yeah, but
"No,
then
that's the thing."
you'll have
Yeah,
someone who's just talking normally, but then when they drop it, it has it has meaning, it has emphasis, you know?
yeah. Well, like, yeah, it's an ingredient, but like it shouldn't be the main attraction unless, you know, you're like George Carlin and you're only talking about swear words, which is fantastic, but that's a
Hmm.
whole other topic. But yeah, like it's,
Right.
yeah,
Exactly. So that's the issue I have now. It's like, okay, um I don't have like a full set that would be clean as in no
yeah,
swearing, And so now because it's something I want to submit to, they want you to send an 8 to 10 minute set, and a lot of them don't want anything edited. So it's not like, oh, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to cut out the dirty bits, and I'll have, like, they want it like continuous, and it's like I don't have 8 to 10 minutes
yeah. Well,
continuous
that's
of.
the thing. Like, yeah, yeah, I control my
Mhm.
writing up to the point that I don't control my writing. Like
Yeah,
I have stuff, and that's what I have. Like
yeah,
it's, yeah,
because now, like, what I'm thinking is like, okay, um one of my next shows that I have coming up, at least one of them, I'm going to try and do like the whole set without swearing. Try and do it clean, because if I want to submit, excuse me, if I want to submit, I've got to do it. So,
yeah,
I'm going to try. I'm going to try, but yeah,
man.
that's my dilemma now. It's like I don't have, like, if it's like little clips, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, you know 2 minutes or something, yeah, that's, I can find, I have stuff like that. But like a continuous thing, or like some of my favorite jokes, or some of my jokes, like my recent jokes that work really well, there's swearing in it, and there's not, I tried this a while ago, I tried substituting, and it just didn't, like, the audience reacted because the audience didn't know that, oh, she usually says fuck, but she said fudge or frig or something else here. But I knew, and I was like,
Yeah.
they'd laugh so much harder if I said it the real way. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, we know. Yeah. I mean, this is the era we live in. Like we can say whatever we want, but like if we want to be on television, or if we want to be hired for certain gigs, then they'll be like, "You talk like you're a third grader being supervised." Like it's, yeah,
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, you're more, it's harder to write clean. That's a harder. that's a skill on its
Yeah.
own. Um, but you can work anywhere if you work clean.
Yeah, but like
You have so many more options too.
I know it's a skill. I'd be so bored though. I'd be like, "Oh, I can't talk about this. I can't talk about that." Like cuz the fact of the matter is I'm an adult, right?
Yes,
So adult things happen to me and those are the ones I want to write about. Like of
exactly.
course there are funny things that happen to me like yeah, but it's yeah.
And I always feel too, I'm like, it's stand-up comedy. It's going to be a little what's the word? Ribald, or a little vulgar, a
Yeah.
little crude, or and then there's like within it, of course, there are varying degrees of crude, or but I mean it's
There
stand up,
definitely
like
are. And there's
it's
appropriate levels of crudeness.
yes, yes, yes.
Because
And the thing
you
is, you've got to trust the comic that, if you're going to a, a school, for example, like a high school, you're gonna, first of all, like, whoever's approaching you approach people who could perform in front of teenagers, sort of thing. And you also have to trust that the comic is like, okay, these are children, these are kids. Maybe the jokes about XYZ, not going to do them today. I'll talk about my dog, I'll talk about this, I'll talk like these other there are other subjects, and yeah. And then I've seen things where in the request, where they're like, we want, send us a clean thing, and don't send us an 8-minute clip of you swearing and tell us that you can clean it up. You
I
can
know I've
say it
seen
without.
that too. I just love that. I'll just think about another like just a this is no one but like just a fictitious comic who's like reading that going like, "Oh, fuck," like just like and then they're like putting like little honking noises
Yeah,
instead of
the whole thing is
swears.
honk 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 honk.
And it sounds like the Canada geese coming back from summer.
Exactly. It's like you heard no words. All you heard are the honking sounds. It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. It's true. And like the thing is, I know that, like, I'm friends with comics like this, where they're like,
Yeah.
I can't do it. That's not the type of stuff I do. It's not the type of stuff I want to do. So like they would
Yeah.
stay away from stuff like that, because they're like, that's not me. And like
Yeah.
writing that way or performing that way is not who I am. So they stay away.
Yeah. And
You
I
know?
love that stand up is mostly for adults, not because I don't want, older teenagers and, to know about comedy, but like it takes a weight off of me that like these people are all legally considered adults. If I say something stupid, like they won't be like, "You're hurting the children," like there's no like, what is wrong with you? I'll be like, I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have brought your children here,
Well,
like it's,
I went to a show a few like 2 years ago in Montreal, and it was at a restaurant, and there was a little girl who was like 8 years old. And yeah, a little 8-year-old girl was in there. And I remember I can't remember who it was, but the producer was like, that there's a comedy show happening, and this is not a show for kids. Just, he didn't say you have to leave. It wasn't that. It was like, if
yeah,
you
just like keep
stay,
this in
just
mind.
know your child's going to hear some stuff that maybe you don't want them to hear. Maybe you're not ready to have that discussion yet, sort of
Mommy,
thing.
what's sodomy? Like,
Exactly. So,
oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I know, but like it's just
oh,
there's enough pearl clutching. I just want to do comedy.
exactly,
Like
exactly. And
and
I'm
I'm not
not. If you're in the room, I'm assuming that you're able to handle what's going to be said by like the 7 people who are going to get up on
yeah,
stage.
like I love working at the comedy club because like I'll be at the door and I'll be getting people getting people the tickets and everything, and um we have a couple, a few couples that are modern Orthodox, so the women wear the wigs and the men, I'll be very careful that they don't touch me because I know they're not supposed to, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
put things down and I'll take my hands away and stuff like that,
Yes.
because I'm not insensitive, but also
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
I know who's on the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll walk in once I'm done my tasks and I'll look and see if they're still seated, because I'm curious,
Yeah.
like they're coming to
Yeah.
see comedy, but these are people that are much more religious than the average, and
Exactly.
I haven't seen any Mormons that I can tell. It's not like the elder shows up with the name tag to the comedy club trying to convert anyone. But there's not. I mean, I'll see people, that practice Islam and stuff like that. But I don't know what's controversial. But sometimes I'll see people and they'll be like, wow, you are pure and sweet and everything. I don't know how you're gonna fight these comedians we have.
But then you also have to you also have to trust that these are adults. They're
Yeah,
coming to a comedy club and they're expecting to hear, and maybe that's a release for them. Maybe in their private life that, they don't swear, they don't talk about sex, they don't talk about drugs or whatever. And it's a release to hear other people talk about it, to
yeah,
laugh about it or something,
yeah. No,
and
I
you
can see
have to
that.
assume that they're adults and that they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder so hard. I'm just
Yeah.
do they go home and be you know, thankfully we're not those people. We don't have to tell jokes
Maybe.
for a living.
Phew. At least we're not them.
Yeah,
They're all going to hell. Like
yeah.
that sort of thing.
I mean,
We're not going to hell, they are.
there's gonna be a heck of a stand-up night in hell. I'm just gonna go ahead, spot,
Exactly. Spot, please. Like, spot or host, like in hell for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh Lord. But yeah, it was, but like how long have you worked at the comedy club, and like how has that been for you as a comic, like to, because you see everyone, you
Yeah,
exposed to so much. Yeah.
yeah. So it's my third festival season. I got hired right at the top of the festival season in 2021. Yeah, so the club reopened in 2021, because there wasn't actually a Just for Laughs. I think they tried to do a virtual thing, which
Yeah, I remember seeing something like that, a
I,
virtual in.
as much as I wanted to access it, it wasn't as simple as a festival. But it was local comedians recording their sets, and that was really fun to see. And then yeah, so technically it's my third Just for Laughs season this year. So I mean, it's been there like 2-ish years, something like that. Um, I mean, I love it and I hate it. I mean, it is the best and the worst of being a comedian, because people want stuff from you when you work at the club. They
Mm.
think you have all this influence and stuff.
Oh, and access and stuff.
Yeah. Um, what I have technically is the management's ear. They listen to me about certain things. And obviously I don't want to abuse that, in the
Of
sense that
course, yeah.
I'm not just going to be giving my opinion. My opinion doesn't matter in the long run. It's more like, oh, someone was behaving inappropriately. That's more where I'll cut that's where the line in the sand is, in my opinion. But once again, the management could do whatever the heck they want. It's their business, right? I'm an employee. But I love it. I get to see professional comedy every week. The people who come through the club, and I get to be known by them, and that is so important, because if I didn't work weekends, we wouldn't know each other.
Yeah.
And all these opportunities, and they're so silly. Like it's not like anyone's be like, "Do you ever thought about being on Netflix?" Like it's not like that, you know. But it's just like, um, you'll talk about wanting to do comedy in another city, and they'll be so excited to help you out. Like it's very simple things that make a huge difference in the
Yeah.
long run. And um it doesn't matter how many, people like your comedy, um if the the community doesn't embrace you moving ahead, kind of thing. So like having all those people that think, "Oh, she's cool, she's funny, like let's put her on our shows," like that makes a huge difference. So like I really like it. But um people ask a lot of questions, and you know what's behind them, like, "Oh, just tell me the secret. How do I get on? How do I get on? When are they going to put me on weekends?" I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
don't know." Like, and there's like it's like if they're asking if you're an undercover cop, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not I'm the only thing I'm gatekeeping is my sanity. Like I'm not trying
Yeah.
like, and it really shows you what like kind of relationships people want to have with you, because some people, you know under the guise of being all business, they're trying to like interview you, like they're trying to get all this information out of you. And your friends are actually your friends, and they're concerned, and they want to know how you're doing. And it's not like, "Oh, are you gonna do this for me? How about," like
Yeah.
yeah. So I really really like it. But it is it's not for everybody, I'll say that. Like I know a lot of people think about it and stuff like that, but like I do love the staff at the club. Like everybody is so cool,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
The
like
staff's
we're a
cool.
tight knit bunch, and like it is like I like it. It's lovely. Like it's yeah.
Yeah, it's just the exposure to you see the best comics in the world like every weekend.
Yeah, and
You see
like I
some of the
treat it
best in the world. Like,
yeah, and I treat it like I'm going to school, like
yeah.
it's just like, to a certain point, if you're around that much good stuff, you'll see. And I find it so interesting,
It
like,
rubs off. Like you have no there's no choice but to learn.
yeah,
You're gonna learn, you're gonna
yeah.
pick up stuff. You know
And
what I mean?
it's not just the comedy, it's like the behaviors of different people. Like I'm so like, I was so worried when I started that like the diva aspect would be very present in headliners. Everyone is so nice, just so nice. And every time I'm just like, okay, and like and like um I mean, I'm so bad at small talk, but people will like ask genuine questions, and like they'll have a conversation with you. And like I've spoken with people who've been doing stand up like upwards of 30 years, and I'm every time like it blows my mind. And like one of the things I like too is seeing how comedians react to different things, because like depending on what events are going on in the city, and like the weather, well, as much as I do, like you can't always pack a room. Everybody's trying,
Yeah.
but sometimes it doesn't work. And just sometimes you'll have a great run in the weekend, and then like the last show you'll get 30 people. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
it's just circumstances,
yeah,
right?
that's just how it is sometimes.
We're
Yeah.
doing comedy all year, so it's never gonna be
It's never
the
gonna be
same,
packed every single, yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, I wish,
Oh,
because
of
that's
course, of
good for the
course.
business.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. But like there's
So,
cycles. Like we all know that like in the
yeah.
summer, it's harder to fill a room in the summer just
Yeah.
because people
We,
want to be
we get
outside and yeah.
we get just for laughs, so people suddenly remember comedy exists.
Yes.
But then there's those
Yeah, it's
people who
different in
think,
Montreal. Comedy in
yeah,
the summer in Montreal is very different than
yeah,
comedy elsewhere. Yes,
yeah.
in the
But like
summer.
we won't see anyone during Formula One weekend, but we have just for laughs a few weeks later. So like, anyways, but where I was going with this is that one of the things I've loved seeing is how headliners react to smaller audiences, and um, also like how some of them react to when the audience isn't um, responding to their material. because that will happen to all of us. It's inevitable. But the
Mm.
way you take it is
That's when
how,
the pro shines through.
yeah, because I've seen people get mad at the audience.
I've
And I'm
seen that
like,
too.
they're there. That's what you got. So
Yeah.
take what you have. Like, and I'm not saying you should be thankful if, like, like if you're upset, but like you should at least take into consideration that these people made time and they're here, and like whether there's 15, 30, or 1,000 of them, this is the situation, like.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that because the thing is, like, anybody can be like happy and great in a packed room.
yeah,
You
and
know,
I
everything's
love when,
great in a packed room. Like, how are you going to still bring that energy when
yeah,
there are 12 people in the room or 50 people in the room? Like, yeah.
and
And
I've
that's
I've
where the pro shines through.
this I yeah, like a while ago an open micer was like, I love a packed room, I need a packed room. Yeah, me too.
You do.
But you know what, you don't
You don't
always
have
get a
one. Yeah.
packed room,
Yeah.
and if that's your only criteria for performing comedy, you're not really accessing all those skills that you could have and be
Yeah.
better and stuff like that. Like, and some comedians um aren't audience's cup of tea. Like, they're more comics, and
Hmm.
um the late and regretted Nick Nemiroff, I miss him and his stuff so much. He was a virtuoso, and some audiences, obviously they would laugh, but like the back of the room was wall to wall comics and we were all losing our minds. Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and there's some comedians that are like that,
Yes.
and I've seen so many now at the Nest. I feel so privileged that
Yeah.
I've been in the room, and
Here's
I
my
think
girl.
of I think of that comedy and
Yeah.
cat.
This is Boo.
Just being, I'll say, like, it's a great gift to be able to be a comedian at a comedy club, but I will always say this about everything in life: no matter what you get, it's what you do with it that makes a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. I
Like,
I
it's,
agree wholeheartedly. I
yeah,
agree wholeheartedly because yeah, I've seen that too where somebody's getting mad at the audience. Oh, you guys just don't get it.
like,
Whoops.
I can understand why a comedian can get mad at an audience, but like the time for that is off stage.
Yes, yes, don't take it out on the audience.
No.
Yeah.
And also, it's so easy to be like, the audience is bad.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll be like, maybe, but you know what?
You
That
should
is
be able to
part,
deal with it. Still,
but
yeah.
even if you can't, it's part of the situation. Like, we are telling our experience to rooms full of people, and sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
I've had,
they don't get it maybe, but
yeah, I
yeah.
had a set last week and they laughed at some of it and some of it they didn't. And you know what? I was still satisfied with my set because I was doing what I needed to do and it
Yes.
worked for me.
Hmm.
But there's so much like, you gotta get the laughs, just wrench it out of it. Like, I I'm not a very aggressive person, but I there's a lot of that in comedy, and I'm just like, do
Yeah.
we have to hurt people? Like, does it have to be painful? I'm not down for that. Like, like,
Exactly.
like, I love,
Exactly.
some of my material makes people super uncomfortable, not in the like ew, like, but like, ah, and
Yeah.
I like that reaction. And then
Yeah.
like people will groan during my sets and I'll be like, oh, like, I just have to find a different way. But like, I love those groans because like people are actually in it with me and they're like, oh
Yeah, they're
no,
paying
no, no.
attention. They're paying attention to you. Like they're listening and something either is resonating or not resonating, but it's a reaction and what you do with that reaction, you know what I mean? Like if you're like I really don't want people groaning. So you see like I added a tag to
Yeah.
one of my jokes because I think you've heard it. It's the one where I talk about my mother writing a letter to a dating advice columnist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for I've been doing that joke for a few months, and whenever I get to the point where I say, I ask her, do you think I'm a loser? Do you think I'm pathetic? And she says, yeah. I always get, oh, I would get like, oh, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's not I don't want that reaction. But
Yeah.
that's a normal human reaction. You hear something and you hear something that sounds kind of sad, that you're just like, oh, that poor person. So I was getting
Yeah.
frustrated with like this. And I know for a little while I was like, it's okay, it's fine, sort of thing. Um, but then one day it just I think it pushed me too far. Like it just really got to me. And I was like, it's okay, she's dead. So people are like, like this, and would start
Yeah, well,
laughing.
see, like my groan is because my joke is disgusting. Like it's inappropriate, and I like that people. And then usually my tag is like, "Oh, you're good people. Like you have morals and standards." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." Like, and then I like that because it makes sense. But like I won't always tell that joke. But like it for me, a laugh is better than a groan, but a groan is better than nothing. So like
Yes, because a groan is a reaction.
yeah,
And you could either keep going with that reaction, either take that reaction and keep going, or you're like, okay, how do I change that to a laugh? Or how do I change that to,
yeah,
instead of like for sympathy, that it's like an like how do I change that from like sympathy to horror or
yeah.
something? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It's
And
Halloween.
it's Halloween, exactly.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
no.
it's like you don't want silence. And like you said, you don't want like no reaction, but
Yeah,
then a groan is not as great as a laugh, but it's better than nothing,
yeah.
sort
And
of thing. Yeah.
and like I think we're on the same wavelength about this, but like you'll you'll let the thing happen and then eventually you'll kind of crack it. Like I'm not too keen on that whole like if you tell a joke 3 times and it doesn't work. I'm more on the Gary Gulman side where like you obsess over things until they work out and then you can be at peace because you gave all the effort you could and
Yes.
it figured it like it worked,
Either
you
you
know?
figured it out, or yeah,
I
I
will drop
agree.
a joke more if it doesn't resonate with me
Yes.
than if it doesn't get any laughs. For me, if it doesn't get any laughs, I just have to work harder.
Yeah, that's how I look at
But
it too.
yeah.
And there have been jokes that I've not done that do well. Like whenever I say them, I get a great reaction, but I don't feel good. There's
Yeah,
something about it that I'm not comfortable with, whether it's the wording or the subject matter or something, that
yeah.
I've taken it out.
Yeah, it's more about my own satisfaction
Mm-hmm.
about the comedy than yeah.
Because the
Sometimes
thing is,
yeah.
like when you're doing your set, you have to deliver it with conviction, because the audience, we don't give the audience enough credit sometimes. I think like they're a lot
Yeah.
more attuned and smarter than we give them credit for, that they can tell if you're timid about saying a
Yeah.
certain joke
Yeah.
or saying certain things, like if you don't believe it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they're if you're like all in, they're more likely to be on board with you. But if you're kind of like hesitant or whatever, they're like,
Yeah.
we're not buying this,
But the
sort of thing.
audiences also get to pick if they buy in or not.
Yes.
You might be the most convincing person in the world and they've never had a flashlight stuck up their butt, so they're not interested in laughing at that. I'm just trying to think of unlikely scenarios and welcome to my brain.
And the
Um
thing is, like, that I think that's the beauty of comedy, that you can tell a story about getting a flashlight up your butt, and it should be funny to people who've had flashlights up their butts, because they're like, that's true, or to the people who haven't, be like, that sounds funny. I don't know if I'll do
yeah,
it, but that sounds hilarious. Like
yeah.
you should still be able to appeal in
Yeah,
in
but
in a
that's
very
and
general term. Like,
and
it shouldn't be funny just because somebody can relate to it
no.
or somebody's been through it,
Yeah. But I also
Yeah.
understand that like if 1 out of 10 people is laughing, I'm also doing my job well.
Hmm.
You know? Not every comic is everyone's comic, you know? And
Yeah.
there are there are so many of us doing comedy. Like I'm just curious how many people are comedians in general. Like that's a question of mine. I don't think I'll ever answer it because it's such a
Hmm.
fluid um term, but
Yeah, and
it's
people do it for different reasons and
yeah. And at
different
different
styles,
levels,
and
like when does it start counting? Because if payment is the only mark of a comic, I'm not a comic then, which I disagree with,
no,
really hard. I
exactly,
just,
exactly. Yeah, I don't. That's the thing, because I think, yeah, I think comedy stand up is like one of the few, if not only, like art form that people don't think to pay us,
I
or that
mean,
we voluntarily do for free for a while, because it's like
yeah,
that's part of, paying your dues, that you do,
yeah. But like,
you
if,
travel around for free and stuff like that.
I mean, like, I read a lot of comedy, like biographies and stuff at some point because I just needed to get a better idea of everything. Just I love to research stuff, so I'm always trying to find new books about comedy and different ways of reaching the results I want to get in my writing and all that stuff. But it's really interesting because early on I read expect it to take 10 years before anything significant works out, and that has helped me stay confident in what I'm doing because I'm like, okay, if this is the timeline, I am on track, you know?
Hmm.
Because it's been 6 years and I'm like, okay, I can deal with
Hmm.
this, this is what I needed to think about and stuff like that. But it's tough because, like, we're not actors, we don't go to school for this. We're not singers, like
Hmm.
it is very much nobody will wake up in the morning and be like, I'm going to force my child to do comedy. Like plenty of people do that with all kinds of other careers, but
Yeah,
like we
dancing,
are
singing, music, yes.
we are out there deciding that we want to hang out in dark bars and tell people jokes, and people want us to do that. Like
Yeah,
they
process our
wouldn't do it
trauma on stage. Like that.
yeah, but like people wouldn't do it, but like there's a bunch of us, you and I included, that have decided that like this is what we're doing, and like you have to be incredibly self-disciplined to amount to anything in this industry because there's so much chance, there's so much circumstance, and we just kind of believe that if we keep on trying,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
will.
and like part of it, it's the only way to get better is to keep doing.
Yeah, and
That's the thing. It's like you just like practice, 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 but our practicing is different. Our practicing is like you have to be on stage. Like like a musician is not going to go on stage until they've mastered the guitar or the piano or the
yeah,
song or something. Like we part of our part of the learning and the experience is just doing it.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like I always find this interesting because um I don't know if this is your experience, but because I do stand up, people tell me about their stand up aspirations.
Mhm.
And people will be like, "Oh, I've written stuff." And I'll be like, "Awesome. Well, like when are you performing?" And they're like, "Oh, no." And I'm like, or they'll be like, "Oh, like I was saying earlier, like, oh, I can only do my jokes to a packed room." Well, I'm sorry, but like there's as much value in doing it to like four comics waiting for their spot as to like 100 people. You
Yeah.
have to you have to kind of
And doing that teaches you skills that you wouldn't learn if every room you have is
yeah.
full. There's
Yeah, like
skills that you're not gonna learn.
no. So learning stand up's like an apprenticeship, except like a lot of us don't have mentors. Like we're
Mhm.
all starting from scratch. Like eventually you know more stuff because you're in it, like in the thick of it, And it really helps, but like there's a lot of pawing around in the dark
Yeah,
um for
yeah,
a while, and
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, because I've heard that saying too. It's like, oh, nothing's going to happen till you're in it for 10 years or this or that. And I've heard that. Um, but I also feel that the whole, it's changing. It's
Yeah, but
changing like, in terms of like nothing, there's nothing that's going to take away from you have to, like, there's sacrifices that you make. Like you have to
yeah,
uh,
but
find stage time
yeah.
and build from that. But also in terms of say big opportunities and stuff, like
I yeah.
it's
I'll just
happening more just with like social media. Like more people can see you versus say 20 years ago.
Yeah,
You
I'll
know.
just say one thing though. Like, I've seen brand new comics get noticed very fast in the last few years. Like, that I've been doing comedy. Like, they've been doing comedy for like half the time that I have or less. And they're lovely and I love their stuff. And I'm, I just see what they're dealing with. It's like they got their wings clipped. Because for my first years, I wasn't doing that well. Like, yeah, I was getting laughs, but like I did bomb a lot. And you have to get used to bombing.
Yes.
It's just the reality of the craft, And it's not cuz you're bad sometimes. Sometimes it is,
Mm-hmm.
but
There's
it's part,
circumstances beyond your control that
or
you're
they were, and you know what? You weren't good that day.
yeah, yeah, you were just
Like,
not good that day. Yeah, there's so many different scenarios that
yeah.
you're gonna bomb for
Yeah,
whatever reason. Yeah.
you're going to bomb, you're going to do great. All of those things are all going to happen at the same time in the worst ways. But
Mm.
like but throughout all of that, I was trying to learn. I was learning stuff, and I was doing stupid stuff. And the most fantastic thing was that no one was paying attention to me.
Mm.
I was no one, and I see these people
There's a
getting
freedom to
like,
that too.
yeah, but I see these people getting like handpicked very early on in their careers, and they're hilarious. But people are looking at them now, and now they're scared of writing stuff. Now they're worried about how they're going to be perceived if they don't do as well as when they started.
Yeah.
And I feel such empathy for them, but also like um it's really hard not to compare yourself in this industry. And I have to, the only, like, one of the things that helps me get through that mental trap is, do I want what they have? Yeah. And do I want everything it comes with?
Yeah.
And to not have been under scrutiny like they are, like, so, like, I don't know if it'll take 10 years, but I'll tell you one thing. I did appreciate no one paying attention when I was falling flat on my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of like a privilege that, like, it might happen faster for some people, but like, are you still able to write when all that pressure's around you? Are you still able to be comfortable trying things? Are you, where's your head at? Like, we don't, I know, like, we talk about mental health just in general, but like, comedians are so, like, are so vulnerable in that respect. And a lot of people, the way they run their careers does not make it conducive to them having a safe
Mm.
mental health. Like, it's yeah. So like all
Yeah.
those things, like, I just keep on telling myself, I'm like, I like my life. I'm building a career. I'm doing the things I can the way I can, but I'm not gonna. I have. I can be jealous. It's just
It's
part of life.
normal. Yeah. Like, yeah.
But I also have to think that, like, this is what I have and this is what I can do with it. Like, it's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I know, like I've been doing it. September will be 4 years
Okay.
that I've been doing it. And I think I'm in a little bit of a different boat, because I had a lot of scrutiny from the start,
Yeah.
where people were like, who is this person? It came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And so I had a lot, I get hate messages every month.
Ugh.
Like I've had to deal with a lot in, like, from the beginning. Like I got my first hate message. I was like 10 sets in,
Oh my gosh.
my first hate message. Yeah, I get them every month. I get, like, for the last, I don't know, 3.5 years or so.
People have so much free
Too
time.
much
Like
free
it's
time, too much free time. And while I wouldn't wish that on anyone, it's made me stronger. It's made me strong because I had to, I because there were times where it was just like I want to quit. I want to quit because it was so frightening and it was so upsetting. And there's at one point I was just like, I don't know anybody around me. I don't trust anybody because it happened so early. I didn't know people in the community. I didn't have anywhere to turn. It was just like it felt deliberate because it was like, yeah, we're gonna pick on her because she doesn't know anybody. She's still new. She hasn't made those connections yet. And
yeah.
it was like I felt like I had to. I work hard anyway, but I felt like I had to work even harder to, like, prove them wrong, even though I shouldn't have to prove anything to
Yeah.
anybody. And
I
yeah.
know what you mean because like sometimes I get frustrated and
Hmm.
my reflex is to like I'm gonna work harder because that's the only thing I have control over and it's way more constructive,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly,
So yeah.
exactly. And it's like I've had people say, not to my face, because nobody would say this to my face, but
Sorry, it just
like when like
cowards like
yeah, cowards, pussies. But like, say, like, certain opportunities happen. Like, I've heard
yeah.
the whispers. It's like, oh, you only got that because you're a woman. She only got that because she's black. She only got that because of this. And it's insulting because it's minimizing the fact that maybe I can do this. You know what I mean? And it's like my counter to that is, say somebody only hired me because, oh, we need a female, and we need a female comic, and we need a minority.
Do the
Oh,
good
here's
old
one.
two for
Yeah,
one in the lineup.
a 2 for 1. He's a twofer. I'm a twofer sort of thing. So even if that's the reason that I got selected to do XYZ, within a minute of me on the stage, you know what I mean? You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
okay, well, okay, she can do it, sort of thing. Like,
Well,
even
yeah,
if
well, that's
somebody
like
wants to, yeah, like, it's just, as soon as I do it, as soon as I start doing the thing, you'll be like, oh, okay, maybe they did pick her because she's good, sort of
yeah,
thing. But that's such like
yeah.
it's like, it's begrudging. It's
Yeah.
begrudging. You know what I mean?
And I hate being the token woman on
Oh
lineups.
yes,
There
yes.
and I don't know if like the news went as far as Ottawa, but the Quebec City Comedy Gala this year, which is the second biggest thing after Just for Laughs, right, in the province here. Not a single woman on a 24 comic lineup.
What?
They can't find funny women.
They're not looking. They're not even trying.
They
They're
have no
not
idea
even
what's going on.
trying. Uh, you're not trying. That's like the festival that I went to in the States. That was born out of rage because there was some festival in New York City where there were no black people, no black women comic. They're like, we
How?
just can't find them. They're not. We don't know. There aren't any. We can't. What do you mean? You're not looking hard enough. You are not looking hard enough. Like, how can you?
If you are consuming comedy, you are seeing these people. Like this is what I
Yes.
find like I get booked on despite not being queer. I get booked on queer shows and those are some fantastic comedians. But if you're not going to the small rooms to see the producers who are putting on these people, you're not getting a good snapshot of what
Yeah,
comedy
you
is
don't
in
know what's
the
out
area.
there. You don't know what's out there, and it's like
Yeah.
the face of stand-up comedy is changing. It's not just, it's still predominantly straight white men.
But thanks so much that it's not just that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. To the chagrin of some.
Oh, they can
Some
cry.
are
It's
pissed.
fine.
Some are fucking pissed. You know what I mean? But it's
I
not
agree.
just that. Like it's getting more diverse.
Yeah. I
And
love it though,
yeah, I
getting
love
so
it too. Like
mad.
I've had people come up to me at shows and say, and I've had straight white men come up to me at shows and say, you know what? It was cool to see you up there and just talk about shit, just talking about stuff. Like it's good to see other perspectives, like
Yeah.
different people, and it's like one of the things that frustrates me so much is that there could be a show anywhere, not just here, anywhere, that it could be an entire lineup, headliner, like host, opener, middle, headliner, could all be white men. Nobody says shit. Nobody says shit.
No,
But a
they
show
don't.
that has like 4 Black people in it, oh, it's a special show. What is it? Is it February already? You know what I mean? Or a show with all women, it's a special show. A show with all gay people, it's a special show. But a show with just straight white men is like that's just a show.
I mean, I agree with you. It is not special. Like I just
But it's like it needs to be like
no, I yeah.
lineups of any
I
any
mean,
combination of people should just be normalized. Like it
you
shouldn't
should
be like,
strive.
oh, this is a special
Yeah,
show.
you should strive for more variety. Like, and
Yeah,
I mean, I love that. The places I like to perform are really focusing on making sure there's like at least two women in a lineup. Like, I can understand scheduling's bad, but
yes,
if every week, every month, you can't have someone on your show that's not a straight white boy,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
also it influences the rooms I want to play in. If they're bro duding it up, as I like to say, what are you bringing? Like, I
Yeah.
just find it interesting that like so many of these all white cis male lineups are like, I am pushing the limits of comedy.
You're talking
I
about your dick
Yes, your dick
and
is
taking
not
a
doing
shit.
anything.
Like, exactly.
Right. And like I respect them as individuals. I just have serious questions about how much reflecting they're doing about the art that they're claiming to do, because I was listening to this Jack Whitehall interview this week, and he sat himself down and actually went, what can I talk about that makes me not just a straight white comedy boy, you know? And he blended like privilege and stuff into his comedy, and he made it kind of outrageous because he is quite rich. He is quite high class British. Like, they do care about class in ways that we don't acknowledge in Canada there.
Hmm.
So he really leaned into that hard. And you know what? That is interesting. That
Yeah.
is fun. I want to
Yes.
listen to that. Jack,
Yes.
call me. I'm available. Uh,
It's true. It's true. Because for
but
too long, it was just straight white men talking about whatever they wanted. And that was like the epitome of comedy. Anybody else trying to come in, oh, women just want to talk about their periods. Gay people just want to talk about that. Like, it's like, you don't know. How would you know what women want to talk about? How would you know what gay people want to talk about if you're just gatekeeping? And so the only people that you're letting in are other people who think just like you.
yeah, yeah,
You know
and
what
like,
I mean?
yeah, and like, this is the thing. There will always be room for talent,
Yes.
and it comes in so many forms and so many expressions. But I'm so tired of it just being like, women aren't funny. Like,
Yes.
it's not
Yes.
true.
It's not
We're
true. It's
hilarious.
not
Like,
true. I think I'd say we're funnier because we put more thought into what we talk about.
I mean,
you know.
I just try and treat every artist like an individual,
Hmm.
and we all like posses form. It's part of the
Yeah,
environment, you
yeah.
know? But like I always just try and be like, you know what, do I appreciate this person's work or not? And that's the baseline. But I
Hmm.
I agree. It's really really easy to fall into just like I'm just going to tell the same reheated joke because I thought of it and like it'll be fine. But like I yeah, like I spend so much time trying to figure out how to be original, but not like
Yeah.
for the sake of being original. Just like I want to satisfy myself intellectually with my material because I have to repeat it over
Over
and
and
over
over and
and
over.
over
Yeah.
again.
You're gonna be saying these things for months at a time in some
Yeah.
cases, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what matters. Like that's what matters to me. But I mean, like I know we
Yeah.
listen to
And to
other
talk
people's
about
stuff.
stuff, even to talk about like our differences in a way that's not punching down,
Yeah, because
you know?
I mean, there can be some fun in that, but it shouldn't be to like. I don't believe in punching down
Hmm.
as like a general. How can I say this? Punching down is not okay
Hmm.
unless it's Elon Musk. You know, like it's you know, like
Unless it's a global punching down. Like,
exactly. Like that's the thing. Like, are you on the side of the oppressor or the oppressed? You know, like
yeah.
it's and I'm not cool with punching down.
Hmm.
Um, but like it can be a fun premise.
Hmm.
You know,
Like
like
the
you keep on.
differences or how we think differently
Yeah,
and stuff, and that can be done. And the thing is, people don't understand that that could be done without punching down.
yeah. But there's this is the thing.
That
There's
some people
so
don't want
many
to put
ways.
the thoughtfulness into crafting a bit or a joke that
Yeah.
tackles that thing without the punching down, because that's going to take some extra brain power and extra thoughtfulness.
The comics I like the best don't just write and perform jokes, they think about them. That those are the people that are
Yeah.
thoughtful and deliberate and
Insightful and yeah.
yeah. Because like I love a dick joke. Don't get me
Oh
wrong.
yeah, a good dick joke. Yeah.
But like
Oh.
give me one that surprises me or that thrills me or you know like I don't want for the 18th time, you know, my dick is so small. What should I do with it? You know, like yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you
yeah.
mean. I know
I
what
mean,
you
like
mean.
the comedians we get at the club, they're somewhat of like, you know, headliners are come up in generations. You know, like they come up as different cohorts, kind of thing. And I'm hearing so many vasectomy jokes now, and they're not the same. None of them are the same. You know, like and I mean,
Yeah.
it goes from comedians going like my wife will need to get me a Starbucks for this to like I thought they were gonna cut my balls off. Like
Yeah. So like I
there's
didn't know what was going to happen. I thought exactly.
exactly, you know, but like these are all this is what I find really interesting. Like I wish I could put all these vasectomy sets side by side. I never thought I'd be saying that sentence in my life. But like they are not the same at
No,
all.
because everybody has a different experience with it, and that's what I like. The bring it's not a cookie cutter type of joke. It's yeah, it's about the subject, but it's about your experience with this,
Yeah.
what you were
And like
thinking, what
yeah.
happened, like all
Yeah.
of that. It's your experience. It's not some cookie cutter dick joke that
Yeah. Well,
you
it's a
know.
cutter dick joke, but
Yeah,
there's a
it's a dick cutter joke.
ah! But yeah, like and like there's a comedian in Montreal and she talks about how her husband's vasectomy didn't work in her set and she was pregnant at the time and she just had the baby and I love it because now it's the other side. Like she has
Mm-hmm.
to deal with like when science goes wrong, you know? Like I just,
Exactly. Exactly.
but like that's what I like. Like
Yeah.
every it's funny because like people will talk to me and they'll be like, "Oh, what did you think?" And like if I'm close enough to that person, I'm always like, "You could always put more of yourself in your set." You know, it's more it should be about you. What makes it, you know, what makes it really yours? Like
Yeah.
that's what's
Yeah.
important.
The vulnerability aspect. You gotta as soon I've seen it happen where people are more in touch and more in tune and becoming more vulnerable on stage, and it works. It works. The crowd loves that because it's something different. And it's not just different for the sake of being different. It's different because it's personal.
Yeah.
It's
But that's the thing.
this person is telling us, you know,
Yeah.
I love
Like
it.
some
I
people
love it.
aren't vulnerable, but they're very silly.
Mm-hmm.
And their brand of silliness is very specific. Like I love those misdirects that are very silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like put as much of you as you can in your comedy. There are so many ways to do that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if it's authentic, that's what I yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because the thing is, a lot of us talk about like our own experiences.
Yeah.
And I like it when the audience doesn't know, is that 100% true? Like, did that actually happen? I like that mystery. Like, I know, like, there's some bits that I do that 100% true. I didn't have
Yeah.
to add anything to it. All I did was like have to edit it, make it shorter, like take
Yeah.
some of the fat out. And then there are others where, yeah, comedic license, you add stuff to
Yeah.
punch it up and make it funny. But it's all based on truth.
Yeah.
It's all based on truth. Some cases it's 100, like as I say it is as it happened,
Yeah. Like
and others it's exaggerated. But I
yeah.
like when the audience is not sure.
I yeah, no, I love exaggeration. Like one of my tags, one of my jokes comes with a tag like, please tell me who you are in the group photo. Usually that gets a really good laugh, but then I'll be like, it can't be the groom, not again.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that per se hasn't happened to me, but was what has happened is that I've been the other woman a bunch of times. Men
Mhm.
want me as their side piece,
Yeah,
like,
and
and
you should be honored.
you know, all the emotional labor for none of the legitimacy, right?
Exactly.
But that felt I did get hoodwinked by a guy who was engaged, and I learned through mutual friends that he had a fiance. He he this guy like pursued me hard, like, and I was like, wow, he's really into me. And then it took a while before someone came up to me and said like, oh, I see you hang out a lot with him. And I'd be like, yeah, we're pretty close. And then being told that this guy's about to get married,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
he has a fiance. What?
so like the
He must have
feeling
felt
is,
like you got the wind kicked out of you like that. God,
I mean,
I've been there too. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I just young and dumb, and just thinking that like he'll turn around and fix it. When that's not where that was going, but like, um, what it gets back to is that like that joke feels true to me because that's the experience I based on it up. That's the experience I based it on, and it doesn't have to be true, but it does, and it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Like the
yeah. Because when you
anecdote.
said it, it's like I was like, yeah. Because I've been in the situation where it's like I don't know who you are, but I hope it's not you, sort of thing.
Exactly.
But I hope it's not the groom. That's like amping it to another level.
Exactly, but like
Yeah,
it's that gets much more than me going like men seem to think I'm not girlfriend material, like there's
Yes,
something, yeah,
yes.
like it's, yeah, and it's
And what you
also like,
said earlier about like your word choices and how you string the words together,
yeah, yeah, and
that
like it's my
matters. Yeah.
particular brand of exaggeration, like some comics are like, everything was fine and I had a great day, but like, the doctor said my cast should be off in 8 to 12 weeks. Like it's, some people under, undersell, and some, I like
Mhm.
exaggeration a lot. So, but um at a certain point, it it's not the audience's job to determine whether what I said is true or not. Is,
Right.
are they with me while I'm telling my joke?
Yes, yes, yes. Ultimately, yes, are they with you on this journey that you're taking them on?
Exactly. Like,
You know?
and it's like, are they on my side, or are they just willing um to 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 walk beside me? Like it's, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
And there's something to be said about, because like I have some, I wouldn't describe myself as like a dark comic, but I do have like dark elements in some of my stuff. Like some of it's dark, and I think again it's a matter of placement where you put those jokes, and it's getting the audience to like you.
yeah,
Like
like, yeah,
likability, you're more likely to get away with stuff if they like you, they're going to listen.
yeah. Like I took this writing class, and the teacher explained, people have to relate to your character early, because then they will forgive all kinds of crap in the long run, you know like, Breaking Bad is a great example. Walter White is not a good person, but you accept that he needs this, so you forgive him, or you at least accept the contract that he's going to do shady crap for the
Hmm.
sake of his survival, kind of thing, so
Yeah.
like, getting all intellectual up in here. uh but you have to get the audience to like sign on that dotted line really early in your set, and then,
Then you can take them on the
yeah,
journey. Yeah.
because I'm pretty sad in my comedy. And
Again, you don't want the audience to be like, oh,
no, but
the
sometimes they
whole
do.
time.
And then sometimes that's like a roadmap for me, and I'm like, oh, I need to change that joke. Like, and I find it interesting because people are on my side. They're like, are you okay? And I'm like, of course I'm not okay. Like,
No, I'm not.
I'm sad. Where's the ice cream? Like, but like, it's how you harness, like, you know I acknowledge that, like, that sadness is a huge part of who I am. It influences my life in general. Like, there's no, unfortunately, there's no getting around it. It's just the way I am at this point in my life.
Mhm.
Will that ever change? Who knows? But
Yeah.
it's just the more that, like, I do like dark things, because that darkness is a familiar place for me. I acknowledge that,
Yeah.
and I am a very happy person at the same time. Like, I'm just a bunch of walking contradictions, you know. And I think that's one of the things that I bring to the stage, is
Hmm.
is that, um I look, like I could be hired on Sesame Street, but I would probably get fired because I'd make the Muppets depressed. Like,
Yeah.
like the I love to acknowledge the darkness. Like, I feel really comfortable with that. Like, I've,
Hmm.
you know, gone through difficult things, and
Yeah.
you know what? It makes the world beautiful.
It does.
It makes
It
the world
does.
so special. Like,
Yeah.
because when it sucks that bad, everything else is so crazy
Yeah.
awesome, like,
Exactly. And
you
it just
know
it emphasizes the complexity of life and how
yeah,
things work together, that and the fact that you've come out of it or you move through it without being terrible. You know what I mean? Like you've gone through all these experiences, these terrible things, these sad, dark things, and you're still a decent person.
I try so
You know what I
hard.
mean? I try to. I try to. You know, because it's yeah, because it's very easy to be like, I've been through some shit and I don't give a fuck. Everything sucks. You suck. They suck. Everyone sucks. Fuck it. You know, it's very
Yeah,
easy to do
it's
that. And
so
it
that's
takes,
the thing is
yeah,
I
to be swallowed up
refuse.
by it.
Yeah, like my darkness exists within me. Like I carry
Mm-hmm.
it around everywhere with me, like my purse. Like
Yes.
there's, you know,
It's
but
there all the time.
but
Yes.
I want to make a deliberate effort every single day to make things slightly better around me. Because
Yes.
you know what? There's enough crap, there's enough darkness, there's enough like bad things everywhere. You know
Yes.
what? If the only thing I do is not add to it,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
That is fine.
Yeah.
I can live with myself. I can sleep at night,
Yeah.
you know. I that is my like philosophy is like, you know, people are like, I'm brutally honest. You don't know how to deal with me. You know what? Well, I am brutally kind. So
Yes.
have a
Yes.
snack and drink some water. You know, like just
And the thing is, honesty doesn't have to be brutal.
no. I mean,
It does not have to be brutal. Yeah.
there's so much better. Like I find so much more value in kindness. You
Oh my
know,
God. Yes.
people are
Yes.
like, the
Yes.
world is gonna chew you up and spit you out,
Yeah.
and
All the more reason to be kind.
exactly,
All the more reason to be kind.
and people
Yes.
are like, I'm gonna toughen up my kid. No,
You're going to
stop.
scar your kids.
You
You're going
know,
to damage your kids. That's,
the people talk about are like their nannies, their grandmothers, like people who like made the world a soft place and who were just there and who were like, "Oh, sweetheart, you're going to put a dinosaur head on your Barbie doll? Okay, you know, how about some cookies?" You know, like no one was doing anything wrong in that scenario. There
yeah.
didn't need to be that like you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm not saying there isn't toxicity in, you know, in those like people who don't acknowledge, you know, that there are sad, bad, mad feelings, you know.
Yeah.
But the people that we cherish are not the people who hurt us deliberately usually.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's all kinds of, you know, issues, but the people talk about are like those people, the soft
Mm-hmm.
people, the people who care, the
Yeah.
people who like make sure that like things are okay, like, and
Exactly.
we don't live in a society that values that, you
No,
know.
it's true. It's true.
And
We don't.
I just cannot be that kind of person. I want
Same.
to
I
be the
can't.
soft person
I
like that.
can't.
Yeah.
Even if it's warranted, even if I tell somebody something that they need to hear, if I say it unkindly, I'm like, like I don't feel good.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, it's the truth. They needed to know. They didn't need to know that way.
yes, but there are so many. This is the thing. There are so many ways to tell people stuff. Like, and
Yes.
like, I'll get little snippets. Like, if the person can't fix it in 5 minutes, is it really worth telling them?
Mm.
You know, like we'll run into smelly people all the time. If I don't have a solution for them, what is the
Yeah, it's
value of
just the
me
point
making
of
them
just
feel
saying,
bad?
yeah, exactly.
You
It's
know,
just saying shit to be mean.
if someone has something in their teeth, I will find a way to let them know. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
but not like, hey,
Yeah.
stop eating spinach. You look crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Or tell somebody else, oh, they've got a piece of spinach in their teeth. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like making is it useful? Is it
yeah,
helpful? Is it useful? And if it's not, shut the fuck up.
exactly. But wiser words have never been spoken. But like, that is my base philosophy, you know, and like I carry that with me into comedy, and um like it is not the general approach that
Yeah.
people have
Yeah.
towards comedy. And I know. And
Yeah.
I've just made a
And there's also
deliberate
a persona, like you have a persona on stage and somebody's persona might be
yeah,
that,
and you know
you
what?
know?
That's fine. That's a
Hmm.
performance. But
Hmm.
and that technically doesn't do anything to anyone in the sense that people acknowledge that you're performing. But if off stage you're the same, disgusting kind of individual, well, that's
Yeah.
just not okay, like
Yeah.
yeah.
And with
So that
stuff like that, whenever I encounter a person, whether it's directed at me or I just see them in the wild, whenever it's somebody, somebody like, I'm brutally honest, or they make a point of like shaming somebody, I feel pity because it's like, you're damaged, like somebody hurt you. And this is your way of, you act like you're all confident and you've got it, but that's a scared kid lashing out.
there's yeah,
You're lashing
hurt
out when you do
people.
shit like
Yeah.
that, you know?
And there's
Hurt people, yeah.
yeah, and there's so much there's it's so easy to be like, well, the world sucks, so,
Like
you know,
that I hate that when people are like, well, this is the internet or this is life, like, no, be better, do
says
better.
who?
Yeah, be better, just because, yeah, you
Yeah,
don't need to
so
say these terrible things to people. Like you said, if it's something they can't fix immediately or there's nothing they can do about it, what's the point of saying it other than to make yourself feel superior somehow
yeah, and also I'm
and putting
not
someone else
close.
down?
Yeah. Also, I'm not close to enough to some people to tell them how I feel.
Yeah, yeah, there's certain things. Yeah, exactly.
You
Exactly.
know
There's
what?
certain things.
If I don't like someone's style of comedy, that is an opinion. That stays with me.
Hmm.
And if I don't like them as a person, that is a whole nother ballpark. But if we can get along enough that I respect them as an individual, that is not the same thing as appreciating their work.
No, exactly.
That is a
Exactly.
completely different thing.
Exactly.
And that's what I find so hard in the world we are now, because anyone can film anyone. Anyone can say anything to anyone. You have unlimited access. Like if I had Instagram, which I don't, and I wanted to, like, I don't know, contact some celebrity, they have private messages. Like some of them disable them, but like if I was on Twitter and I wanted to tweet at someone that performs and I saw them, like, we have never had so much access to
Yes.
people in general. And um I find that so hard because your time on stage is that's normal, like in the sense that you're interacting with people, but like how do people justify trying to get in touch with all these people when it's not it's when they're away from the stage, like it's not like, hey, can you, like do this joke in a video for my friend, like that's a different ask, but like, oh, like you should totally do this with your, like I
Yeah.
just I
I
find
don't
that so
understand that.
I
Yeah.
find that so concerning, like I wonder about that all the time because I'm huge about my privacy, like
Hmm.
if if I'm not comfortable discussing something, guess what? You'll never know about it.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
but I find it so easy like it seems that so many people are so willing to just be like 24/7 available, and
Yeah.
I find that
Yeah.
so hard,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is hard. And
Like
because the thing is, on one hand, to be visible and to
yeah.
get these better opportunities and stuff, you have to put yourself out there. But I've had scary situations with people
Yeah.
contacting me, just because I've put
Well,
myself out there, like comedy wise, like in terms
yeah.
of doing my comedy, but they interpret it as, oh, she's accessible. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
But like
call
the
her and
person
say these things or
yeah.
whatever, and it's like, no.
the per- the person I am on stage and the person I am off stage are not the same in the sense that, like, I'm at work, you
Yes.
know, and we're not the same at work. No one is, thank God, like,
Yeah, you have your work persona and your
yeah.
private persona. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
find that really interesting because, like, I really try and make that difference between someone's performance and someone's actual, demeanor and stuff like that. And there's some people that I like both, and there's some people that I like neither. But you have to know that that is not that person,
Yeah.
like, but I find it's very
Hmm.
interesting because, like, people consume so much comedy, but they don't acknowledge all of this,
Yeah.
like who we are. And it's fine that people don't know who I am,
Yeah.
like who I actually am, like the sister and the daughter and the aunt and the
Hmm.
friend, It's fine they don't know those things about me, but
Hmm.
I don't know those things about them either,
Right. Right. And but the
So
thing is, we run
yeah.
into more situations where if people have seen you perform a few times, they feel like they know you.
Yes, which
From
I
the stuff
find.
that you talk about on stage. Like for myself, I talk about myself and like
Yeah,
things that have happened to me and stuff. So people might think, oh yeah, I have a good read on her. Maybe you
I
do, maybe you
know.
don't. But
I find that crazy.
yeah.
It's like those people who get catfished by celebrity accounts, and I'm like, why do you think Johnny Depp?
Yeah, why would John not to sound like obnoxious or anything, but why would Johnny Depp call you? Like, why would Johnny Depp pursue you?
I
Like,
mean, yeah, I mean,
when
like,
are you ever in the same circles as Johnny Depp? Like,
I mean, if I can, if you have a bunch of you know interests in common, I would get that. But if you're just not just a fan, but if you're just a fan, you know,
but it's
what?
the access part too. It's the access
Yeah,
part. Like, if you were in an orbit where you see, or you're like in person, like not just on TV or anything, but like you cross paths with like Johnny Depp level celebrities or Johnny Depp level people,
yeah,
and you're more likely to maybe run into Johnny Depp, talk to Johnny Depp. Maybe you and Johnny Depp have things in common. But if Johnny Depp's over here and you're way the fuck over there, like how's that gonna like how does
yeah.
that
Well,
happen? Like,
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it's like I like to pretend that, like, some actors that are insanely famous, I would get to meet them. But you know what? I am in the entertainment industry, so that
there's a
realm of
possibility you
possibility,
maybe you will.
exactly. But I joke, I kid, but like I know it's more likely than, I don't know, like the person who drives drives a bus. Not like I have utmost respect for bus drivers. But just
But the
like
circles, it's the circle that
exactly,
you're
like
traveling in different circles. Yeah.
they will probably, know more about, like, I don't know, like the city's infrastructure and local politics just by the virtue of their position. But because I'm an entertainer, I'm like, oh, of course Henry Cavill would be into me. I'm hilarious, you know? Like
Of
it's
course, Matt Rife and I have so much in common because he's a comic, I'm a comic. Like we'll hit it off. Yeah.
he's cute, I'm cute, like
He's cute, I'm cute.
basically we're meant to be,
Yeah,
like, but like
exactly.
I know how creepy that sounds, but like I just I just find it interesting how, like, like the level of people think they have access to us as entertainers, like it's and like you and I, like, we don't have Netflix specials, like we're not worldwide, baby, like we're just women doing comedy in Canada,
Yeah,
which is one of the toughest things we could have
yeah.
picked, I guess. But like it's
you
uh,
know?
Amy Schumer did a little, like, documentary for her last special, which was I think it was like the one called Growing, because she was pregnant for that journey, and like it documented her pregnancy and like the like getting the show ready and all that stuff. But like she takes transit in New York City. Like, she's smart. Like, she's just in the subway or
Yeah.
like in the regional train or whatever. And she'll see people filming her, like, and out in public, and she'll turn around and be like, "Hey, what's that for? hey, why are you filming? And I think that is one of the most healthy approaches to that, because sometimes people are like, oh, I was shy, my sister's a fan, like, or some people are like, literally, like, told her in that video, they're like, I don't know, I don't know, like.
Because that's a weird thing to do, to see someone and just, you know what I mean? That's so
I was
weird.
I was on the bus the other day, and I don't know what like this. So um the bus in Montreal, like, the back is kind of higher up than the front. I think most buses are like that
Yeah,
now, but
the
there
newer
was
styles.
someone sitting on the first level, and I was on the second level, and they kept on turning on the camera on their phone in selfie mode, so I could see their screen because
Yeah,
we
you're
were
behind
sitting in
them.
that way. And because they were turning it on in selfie mode, they weren't on the screen. I could see myself on the screen. And, like, at the beginning I was like, and the
Yeah,
person just turned it off really
yeah.
quick.
Because it's
And
like, what are
then
you doing? Like,
they
did you put
kept
it in
on.
selfie mode to record what's
But that's the thing.
behind? Yeah,
I couldn't. I all I could tell was, like, the big red button, and the screen was pointing at me. And all I could, at a certain point, after like twice that the screen was turning towards me, and I could tell I was in the video.
hmm,
And I had to be like, hi, please stop filming me.
yeah,
I do not consent to being filmed.
yeah,
And they're like, no, I'm looking at myself. And I'm like, you're doing an awful job, you're not even in the
yeah,
screen,
yeah. It's
like.
like I just see me. It's
Yeah, like.
like- oh my
And
god,
yeah, I to this moment, I
that's
still don't
weird.
know what that was like. That was just such a weird
It's very weird.
situation, because, like, the only thing I could think was, like, either this person knows my comedy, which I find kind of unlikely, or they think that the way I dressed is like way too colorful, because I mean, I wear purple Crocs with charms on them, and I like to dress like I'm a kid's
But I mean, if they find
show,
what you're
like.
wearing interesting, like instead of taking your picture, filming you, ask what's to stop them from asking you?
Well, people, that's the thing, like, I find that interesting, is that people
Yeah,
will go to great lengths to get, like,
to avoid
footage
asking
or.
you questions.
Yeah, and I just.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a thing to, oh, if I tell somebody this, they're not going to believe me. I need proof.
Yeah, but, like, I was
Yeah,
thinking about this because I like to think about online dating a lot, because I really dislike online dating, because I find
hate it.
online dating incredibly superficial and inefficient. It doesn't give you anything you need, and this is something I talk about a lot in my stand up. And um I want, this is a joke I'm workshopping. I think online dating was invented by men so they'd have to talk to women in person even less.
Because most of the time we don't want to meet them. Like that's they say a few things to us
Exactly.
and we're like, no.
But also men are like, I can't talk to her. She's gonna disintegrate me with her eye lasers. Like, no, just. And, like, we've cut out all of the, like, and some people are like, oh, it's not like before. Yeah, a guy had to come to you and be a creep in person. Now he can
Now you
just be
could
a
do it
creep on the
online.
internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can pretend, you know, that
Yeah, he reads your bio and he's got a blueprint into like how he can manipulate you. It's just terrible. Because I
but the.
saw this whole series of this woman didn't match with this guy, and he found her on like Instagram or what, I think it was like Facebook, and left her, send her like 15 minutes worth of voice messages. Hey, I thought I saw your bio on this and I think you're really cute and I think we'd be great together. And she's like, who the fuck are you? You know, like, who are you? Oh yeah, I saw your thing. And she's like, I didn't match with you. Why are you contacting me? And he's like, oh, I persevere. I see what I want and I go for it. It's like, yeah, you just smashed any kind of, you have no disregard, you have no regard for my boundaries and the fact that I did not consent to you contacting me.
Yeah,
It's
because, like,
insane.
what I want in a partner is someone who, doesn't obtain my consent and also doesn't listen to me ever. Like that is what
That's
I'm
exactly what
looking for.
thank God you're here. Like that's exactly like it's
Oh my gosh, what would I do without you? Like,
yeah, and we have to stop with this no means try harder. No, no means no. No means
yeah.
stop. It's not doesn't mean try harder. It's like leave her alone, leave him alone,
I
you
mean,
know?
I'm so glad that conversation is on the table now
Mhm.
cuz like I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I was dating 20 years ago, but it was high school. But, but I'm so glad that like this is part of the conversation and like I love the concept and I love utilizing it and like I cuz I date men and I'll ask guys if they're okay with situations and it's really crazy how surprised they are that they're being asked if they're okay with stuff. And you know what? That's why I'm going to keep on doing it forever.
Mhm.
And they're
Mhm.
like, "Of course I'm okay with it. I'm kissing you." And I'm like, "Do you need to think about it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we can
yeah.
we can take a minute if you don't want
Yes,
to go
I've
any
done that
further."
too. Like,
And they're like,
yeah.
"Uh,
Like
uh,
I was in a situation where this is a little while ago where I was significantly older. Yeah, he was an adult. Like
no. I
yeah.
look, I will tell you one thing. People do not think that I am the age I am. And a few weeks ago, like a guy in his mid 20s was like crazy into me, and I had to tell him just by transparency, not because I was like this is wrong or I was
Yes.
just like, do you know that I'm in my mid 30s? And he was like, I did not know that, and I was like, I'm fine if you're fine. And that was
Yeah.
it. Do you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like
Yes.
it wasn't a 17-year-old where I was like, you little nasty ass boy. You know,
Yeah.
like no. But like
Yeah, like for me, it was something like he was in his 30s, I was in my 50s. We knew each other's ages. So it wasn't
yeah.
like, oh, I had no idea. Like we knew, I knew he was in his 30s. He knew I was in my 50s.
Yeah.
But still, when it came, like when the moment was there, I remember saying, it's like stopping things and being, are you cool with this? Just because
Exactly.
I felt I was the older one, that it was my responsibility to make sure that he was on board, that he didn't feel like, oh, she's older, I can't say that I don't want to do this, or
Yeah.
I can't say no, or that I'm not comfortable. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I
Like
me as the older person, I don't want to cause him any damage or anything like this, but it's like, are you cool with this? He's like, yeah, I'm cool with this. Are you sure? And he's like, are you asking my consent? And I was like,
heck
yes, I
yeah.
am. And he's like,
Well,
you have
yeah.
my consent. And he's like, that's kind of hot, sort of thing. But it was
Right?
like, I felt obligated to do that because it was like, yeah, I just felt I needed to do that because it's just because there was a significant age difference, and
Yeah.
just, we're
And
both adults, but
yeah.
there's a significant age difference. And I know, so, like, even some of my friends are like I remember this was a while ago. I had quit, well, I don't smoke anymore, but I had was quitting smoking. I had said I had quit, and then I was at my friend's house and I was like, "Oh, can I have a cigarette?" And he gave it to me, and he was like, he didn't say, "I thought you had quit." He was just like, "I'm not telling you no. I'm not going to tell you
Yeah.
no." Sort
Yeah.
of thing. And I remember I that stuck with me because the thing is, I'm sure if we were the same age, he would have been like, "I thought you said you quit. I'm not giving you a cigarette." No, sort of thing. But because there was that older dynamic, he was like, "Well, I'm not going to tell her no." And I was like, I didn't want that, especially in like a sexual situation. I
Yeah.
didn't want that thing where he's like, "Well, I'm here and she's older than me and I don't want to tell her that I'm not into this anymore. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that." I didn't
Yeah.
want that. So it was just like, are you cool with
Yeah.
the things I'm about to do to you?
A button, click a button, and all kinds of weird noises start happening. No, but I love that
Yeah,
this is part of the conversation because like
because it's
you said
clear. Yes.
yes, and you know what? I'm so tired of ambiguity. You know what?
Yes.
You're
Yes.
interested? Tell me.
Tell me exactly. I don't want
Tell
to have to
me.
guess
Like
and wonder, and and stuff like that. But I will say that if somebody, even though like it's part of like, you not look, people don't want to look too eager, they don't want to look too, they don't want to look desperate and stuff like that. Fine, I understand that. Stupid, but I understand that. But if someone's interested in me, I want to know.
Yeah,
I
and like
want to know.
also, I am desperate and eager. Okay, like it's part of me. It's just how I am. I have no chill. You know, like I like someone, I like
Yeah,
them.
me too. I have
You
zero
know, I
chill.
just and
Exactly. You're gonna know
so
that I like you, sort of thing. And
yeah,
it's
and
like,
like
I don't, and also I'm like, I want you to know that I like you. I don't want
I
you to be like, does she like me or not? So, and by the same token, if you're not into it, tell me.
yeah, and
You can
this
tell
thing
me, thanks, but I'm not into this.
yeah,
Okay.
and like um I women will come and tell me they're interested in me, and I will be like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I am not I'm not attracted
Yes.
to women. And
Yes.
you know what? It pisses me off because I would have so many better options.
It's true, and it shows that sexuality is not a choice.
Yeah,
You know, like it's not a choice.
no. Because if it was, you know what? I would be in a happy and loving committed relationship with a woman.
Me
And you
too.
know,
Me too.
yeah,
Me
me
too.
too.
But it's like, no, I like, as much as they piss me off, I like them. I like them. And it's like I like
They
them
have
so
what I
much that
want.
I'm staying away from them and I'm not exploring any other options because I know the other options that doesn't suit me. And so my situation is I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Because as much as I like you, I don't like you. Like, tired of your shit.
But yeah, but like I think that like I love I love people asking consent in every circumstance. Like I
Yes.
love that people ask me if they can hug me now.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love
Yes.
that people ask me if they can contact me. Like, you know what? I really like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
I
I
like it
like it too. I think it's
so
great.
much.
Yes, because you know that if I ask somebody, is it okay if I is it okay if I message you next week? Yes. Yes, you can. And I'm not going to feel weird about messaging them because it's like I asked them, they said it was cool. I can do it. But if somebody's like, that's a no.
Yeah,
That's
because
no.
the games I want to play, you know, are like improv games,
Yeah.
okay? I don't want to be like, oh, if I come back next week, you know, like ooh, like no, just like, do you want me here or not?
Yeah.
If you don't, that's fine. If you
Yeah,
do,
exactly.
I'm
It's
thrilled.
fine. If you don't, it's
Like,
fine. That's the thing. And people are like, "Oh, well, I don't want to hurt it." That's self-serving.
you know what? I might be sad, but that is not your responsibility.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like you tell me what you want or what you don't want, and if I behave badly, that's on me. That's not on you. If you've told me where you stand on something, I'm not interested in this, and I don't listen and I still pursue,
Yeah.
that's on me.
Yeah.
Anything else is my fault,
Yeah, and I mean,
you
like,
know?
I have crushes on so many
Oh, me
guys.
too. Me too.
But if I don't see an opening,
I'm not taking it. Exactly. All
mhm,
right. Well, let's wrap this up. This has been incredible talking to you. Like, thank you
I
so
can say
much
the
for
same.
taking the time to talk with me. And before we go, would you like to play my silly game called
Yes, please. I
Crazy
love silly
Questions?
games.
Okay. So I have 249 questions.
Oh
I had
wow.
250, but I deleted one and I haven't replaced it yet. So if you could choose a number between 1 and 249, and I will read the corresponding question.
Well, 42 is my favorite number, so
42? Okay. So 42. How many people do you fall in love with every day?
exactly thousands, honestly.
Me
I
too.
I it's really easy for me to get like that initial feeling going if you're able to sustain it as a whole other situation. Like I will fall in love with people. It's very simple for me to feel affection. Like I don't hold back. If I like you, I like you. I'm very enthusiastic about that.
Yeah.
I think I talked about how like how much kindness matters to me. So for me, that's just like a plus. Like that's an added value to life to be able to like just like fall in love with
Yeah.
people
No,
all
it's
the
true. It's true
time.
because it does take a capacity
Yeah,
to a vulnerability to be like, oh, I have a crush on this person, or
yeah.
yeah, I
Like
like this person. Yeah, no,
nothing
that's
comes of it.
nothing comes of it, and
90%
they
of
have
the
no idea. They will have no idea. But I've had the whole relationship in my head about it. Yes,
we're thriving. They
exactly. In my head, we are thriving. Exactly. Yeah, I relate so hard to that.
yeah. No, I fall in love all the time, and like for me, love is so important in the sense that like I love my friends, and it's not a romantic thing, but I think that like that enthusiasm towards that that positive feeling you have towards your friends it's just part of the equation. It's so
Yeah,
important. Like it's yeah.
it's important for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Okay, another number, please.
200.
200. Okay. Whoops, going the wrong way. I'm scrolling the wrong way. Okay, 200. What is one thing you regret having done or not done in your life?
Oh, I can honestly say I think about this way too much. I wish I would have started taking myself seriously as an artist much younger. So it's not that I wasn't performing, it's not that I wasn't, in that environment. It's just that for the longest time I thought it wasn't possible, that
Mm-hmm.
like someone had to decide it for you kind of thing, and you just kind of accepted the mission. um like I'm classically trained in voice, in dance. Like
Oh,
i
wow.
i i did that for a really long time, and I was kind of encouraged to keep it at the level of a hobby, which I never wanted to. But
Oh,
I wish that I would have just listened to myself earlier and faster and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like that stupidity of youth that gives you all this confidence that you have no right having. I wish I could have taken more advantage of that, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't regret it in the sense of like I'm happy where I'm at now, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I should have started earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I could have done this for
Yeah.
much longer. Like I honestly say, yeah, that's something I think about a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm similar, similar that I'd listen to myself rather than let people tell me
Yeah.
how,
And now
what to pursue or not to pursue. Yeah.
I tell everyone I know, I'm like, if you want to do something,
Just I do the
just
same.
figure out a way and do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
don't wait for permission. Even people are telling you it's
Mm-hmm.
a bad idea. If
Yeah.
you're not
If it's
actually
something you
hurting
feel in your
yourself or
soul,
others, yeah.
yeah, if it's
I mean,
something if
some
you
people believe very hard they should be hurting other people, but but yeah, it's more like if you believe you really want this and there's a good way to make it happen and
hmm
you're not
at
causing
least
anyone.
try.
Yeah, that's the
At
thing
least
about it.
try.
Yeah.
Try. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But what if it does?
That's the thing.
What if it
Like
does? There's
it's
that's
interesting, like because um one of the girls, I have a corporate job now, and they don't know I do comedy, and that's deliberate from me. And one of the girls in my department is like talking about how she almost went and did like a really cool radio program, and we were in the office while she was saying this, and like this other woman was just saying like, well, those things never work out, and I'm just like,
shut up.
shut up, you were
Shut
dumb.
yeah, shut
Like, and this
up.
this was the kind of person who was like continuously had their like eyebrow lifted at me, and I was just like, well, you know what, you're a sad beige adult for thinking things are only a certain way and not trying to do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know what? Like,
Yeah, you're where you need you're where you deserve to be because you
yeah, like
didn't
my
take those
life is
chances.
messy, but it is multicolored, like yeah, I hate when people are just like, "Oh, I'm going to shut down everybody's dreams because dreams never become true."
Yeah.
Like, well, you know what?
Yeah,
Fuck
shut
you.
your own.
Like,
It's one thing you shut your own dreams down. Don't try and shut mine or
but
anybody
I know,
else's.
and
Yeah.
I hate that
Yeah.
particular kind of people who are like, "Well, it didn't happen for me, so
Me,
it's
so
not
it's
going to
gonna
happen
happen
for
for
everybody
anybody else.
else."
Yeah, it didn't happen for me, and I'm gonna prevent it from happening from anybody else. Yeah, that's so immature. It's
There's no
immature.
value in that. You're not bringing
None.
anything to the table. You're just hurting people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you're like letting your own misery eat away at you, but eating away at yourself isn't enough. You've got to bring other
yeah.
people down with you. Yeah, that's true. That's sad. That's very sad. Okay, let's do one more.
Okay. 29.
29. Whoops.
Are you sure you didn't just curate these questions? They feel way too on the
I
nose.
know. I know. Yeah, I've had these questions for years, and I haven't added to them in a while, but yeah, I scoured the internet a few years ago. So,
Nice.
okay, number 29. On a scale of 1 to 10, how intolerable do you find baby pictures on Facebook?
Is like 10 the worst?
Yes, 10 being intolerable, you hate it. 1 being they're fine. I'm okay with them.
I'm a 2.
A 2?
I'm not having children, so you know what? Go ahead. You know what? It is highly improbable for these events to come together. So you know what? I'm everyone's Aunt Flo.
Yeah.
It's what I do now. So you know what? As
Yeah,
long
I'm
as you
fine
don't
with
make
it.
me, as long as you don't impose your kids on me, I will look at the
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, if
Like
it's
I
just on
don't.
Facebook, like I can look at the pictures if I want, or I can scroll past if I don't want to.
But you know
Not hurting
what?
anybody and they're proud of it, whatever, that's fine.
It's an extraordinary situation that is so average. That's the thing with life, right? Like because it happens to you, it is wonderful. You know what? I am not gonna yuck your yum. Like you know what? As long as and it's I'd be more upset if people were like, "Why don't you have children?" I'd be like, "That's
Yeah,
none of
just
your
like,
business."
whoa. Yeah. You step off, you back
Yeah,
off. Exactly.
that's where I draw the line. You
Yeah.
want to talk to me about Junior, and
Hmm.
great,
Yes,
good.
yes. Tell me everything,
You
but
know what?
don't, yeah.
You don't hate your kids. You're a
Yeah,
winner in my books. Like that's
exactly. You're not damaging their psyche daily. You're all
you know
right.
what? Maybe you are, but you're doing it with love and care.
You
That's
won't know till like 25 years from now what you've done to them, but you're showing
exactly
love, you're showing them love and everything in your weird way. I'm okay with it.
exactly. Like I'm not here I'm not here to mess with anybody's life. I'm just like awesome. Look at that
Cool.
kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Look at them go. Wow.
Will I put comments underneath it? No.
No, no. I might just do that on it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just I'm acknowledging that I've seen your pictures.
Yes, and I'm
I'm
supportive of
acknowledging
you.
that you've made this post.
Exactly. You're my friend. You're having a great time being a parent. Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
My enthusiasm is good, like let's go, like it's not yeah, it's like, these are the people who support me because I do comedy, and they want to be parents. Good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
So,
So, anyway, so thank you so much.
thank
I've
you.
talked your face off for 3 hours or whatever, but this has been so much fun.
They'll never know how much trauma we have until they come see our shows. Uh,
Exactly. So are there any shows that this will be coming out end of August? Is there
Yeah.
anything you'd like to promote?
Honestly, at this time, well, until no, it's too early out to know what's happening at the end of the month of August, but I'm sure I'll be on a bunch of stuff. And if they follow me on social media like you asked them to,
Yes.
they'll probably know what is going on
What's coming up for
in that
you?
respect. So, but
Okay.
my home base and is the Comedy Nest in Montreal. So always glad for more support through the club I work and perform at. So
Sounds good.
that's if you want to come to the Comedy Nest and be around in a non-threatening, non-creepy manner, I'm all up for that.
Yes. Yes. A heavy emphasis on the non-creepy, non-threatening.
Yes, those are my favorite people. The nice people who
Yes.
understand boundaries and consent. Those
Yeah.
100% in for that. So yeah.
Yeah. My kind of people too. So thank you for being a guest. I'd love to have you back
Well,
anytime.
well,
Anytime you want to come back,
we'll make it happen.
we'll make it happen, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You
And
too.
thank you all for watching, and
Yeah.
we'll see you next time.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.